To hide his cash, he went out and bought a 3,000 square meter villa. The bedrooms were reserved for towering piles of gleaming gold, while the living room was packed with suitcases heaving with banknotes. Whenever his wife went looking for a pair of shoes, she had to rummage for ages because every shoebox was filled with money. Every day, Jilly had to bring home yet another huge stack of bills. Before long, the villa couldn't hold any more money. One time, the cash in his closet spilled out and nearly crushed him, so he built a stable to store it, yet it still fell far short. Every night, Jimmy dug pits in the yard to bury his money. Unexpectedly, after toiling all night, when he dug them up again, he found nothing. With no choice left, he had to park his cash in banks just to squeeze it in. In this town of fewer than 1,000 people, there were more than a dozen banks. They even emptied their vaults to cater exclusively to Jilly. In the end, Jilly deposited tens of billions of dollars in each one. Next, he needed to turn all that money into real assets. To that end, Jimmy set up countless shell companies and even randomly hired some drifters and old men as CEOs. But no matter how fast the companies handled their books, it never caught up with his cash flow. Although everyone knew Jimmy's money was ill-gotten, not one cop dared to touch it. Instead, people from the CIA and the Crime Bureau frequently came to him for favors. Originally, Jimmy had been just an ordinary pilot with a low salary that barely covered his expenses. He could only rely on the perks of his job to secretly smuggle cigarettes for some side income. Before long, the CIA uncovered what he was up to, yet the agents didn't arrest him. Instead, they used his smuggling to blackmail him. After all, Jimmy's flying skills were no joke. And as it happened, the CIA needed him to pilot a large plane at low altitude over Central America to snap photos of rebel hideouts. A born thrill-seeker, Jimmy simply accepted their offer. Don't think this was a simple mission. It turned out to be much more dangerous than he'd imagined. Each time his plane approached the rebel base, he barely pressed the button before snapping a few valuable photos. The next second, he'd be met with a hail of gunfire from the rebels. Fortunately, Jimmy's piloting skills were among the best, and he managed to cheat deck every single time. Because I often flew over the rainforests of Central America, I hadn't realized the Colombian drug cartels had been watching me all along. And because of that, Jimmy's life was about to take a turn and make him a millionaire.